sorry, kiddo, I really am. You have a good soul. And I hate giving good people bad news.
I'm Tony, he's Mike, and because we're kind of doing a theme, we're doing 1981's The Hand.
Yeah, because this is our week 2 of our 2024 Halloween Spooktacular.
Hand?
You think I've done something wrong, don't you?
Your memory is still feeding familiar sensations of having a hand along your nerve endings.
Hey! Take a look!
Orion Pictures presents Michael Caine in The Hand.
Now, on paper, this movie should, it seems like it should be stacked because it's Oliver Stone's first feature film.
Yes, which caught me by surprise.
Yes.
I wasn't expecting to see that name on the screen at the bottom. I was like, what? Oliver Stone?
Yes.
I'm intrigued.
And then you have Michael Caine,
Yes.
you know, and Michael Caine is being his Michael Caine-dest in this film.
You think I've done something wrong, don't you?
You have his super hot wife. You have
Andrea Marcovicci?
Marcovicci.
Sure.
Marcovicci.
And then you have Annie McEnroe as Stella and Bruce McGill as Brian, and that's pretty much the cast.
No, you're forgetting one very important one. She went on to play Christina in Mommy Dearest.
I told you, no wire hangers ever!
That would be their daughter.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
We'll
I
throw
mean,
her
which-
name right there.
I mean, she's barely in the movie, so I mean.
She's an important part of the plot line. And then at the very end, there's the old lady who wounds up in Stargate with the necklace. With she's in it for like 5 minutes just to wrap shit up because apparently people didn't like the original ending, so they shot a new one. And walk us through the plot.
Yeah. So Michael Caine is the creator of this comic, Mandro. And so him and his wife are having some issues and stuff like that, and so she wants to take a look at this apartment in New York.
That if we want to have the apartment, then we've got to give them a deposit over the weekend.
Without even seeing it?
Tamara Willard saw it, and she says that it's a steal.
And on the way to take a look at this apartment in New York, is kind of hinted at or discovered that she wants to go there by herself and stay there by herself.
Yeah.
You don't want me to go to New York with you, do you?
That's not true. That's not true at all.
What is then?
And she gaslights Michael Caine.
Well, actually,
like,
she wants to take the little girl. She wants to take their daughter, too,
Well,
because
yeah.
they've already talked about getting her in school.
Yeah.
So basically, and she's obsessed with this yoga dude.
Yeah.
You know, Yoga Man has kind of made it very obvious that he's kind of digging on Michael Caine's wife.
Right.
Yeah.
But anyway, so she's gaslighting him. It's like, well, we talked about this.
I just felt that we should be on our own for a while. I thought you understood that. I thought that was why you said that I
Well,
could...
we obviously do not understand each other.
And it's like, the fuck we have? We didn't talk about this. This is something you decided you wanted to do. So anyways, they're having this argument. While they're driving, they're behind this farm truck, and there's this lady behind them, like, just honking the horn. And
Look out!
I see
Watch
her.
her!
I see
Watch
her.
her! Get back, you silly cow!
you know, so anyways, Michael Caine's wife decides she's going to try to pass up this truck. But when she does, Michael Caine's got his hand out. His hand hits the truck. It gets cut off.
Comically.
Yes, quite funny. They can't find a hand. He gets his hand sewn up. He gets a new hand, and
He doesn't get a new hand. He gets a new stump.
no, he gets a prosthetic.
Oh yeah, but that's not the same.
Yeah.
So-
So he gets a prosthetic, but there's some weird shit happening, and shenanigans ensue.
shit. Yeah. Okay, so this movie, okay, it was not anywhere near as fun as I thought it was going to be.
No,
Number
it
one.
wasn't.
It was a bit of a slog to get through. Let's
Yes.
just get that one right out of the way
It was
now.
so slow.
This wants to be this deep, heavy, psychological terror because his marriage is falling apart and his career is essentially over with now because he's the creator and writer of Mandro and his, you know, the only thing that matters to him is his daughter, and so he takes this job teaching at the like shittiest community college on the planet.
Why don't we go around the room and each one of you tell me a little bit about yourselves.
I mean, it's got one thing going for it, Stella, and his fellow teacher who is very big into his alcohol and students.
What do you teach?
Psychology. Anything I can get 15 jerk-offs a year to enroll for.
And I mean that in a
Well,
in a physical way.
Yeah, but it's the good thing about this is, or the saving grace about it is like all these people in this college are like adults. They're like in their mid-20s up to their like mid-40s in some cases.
Yes.
So it's not as pervy as, you know, it would come across normally.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say it's not like they're like, you know, just fresh out of high school or anything like
Right.
that. That's not the issue. But like, it's very obvious that none of them give a shit about, you know, learning anything. They're taking this class because A, it's an easy A, and B, you know, they're exploring their artistic side of themselves.
Yeah.
And he's used to be a cartoonist.
And you, young lady?
Huh?
Do you have a favorite comic strip?
No.
The other thing is that like his agent is trying to talk him into selling the rights to Mandro and give it to another artist because this artist wants to actually make fundamental changes to the character. And Michael Caine is very angry about the fact that they're trying to change Mandro because Mandro doesn't think he's a doer. He has action. He doesn't reflect on anything that he's done, which is very telling about Michael Caine's character in a very uninteresting way because Michael Caine's character is very uninteresting because they do nothing with him. I get what Oliver Stone wanted to do with this. I completely appreciate what he wanted to do. Holy shit, this script is terrible. Holy shit. Like
these characters are so fucking unlikable.
Yes.
You cannot like any of these people.
No.
Not even Stella, which poor Stella, she's only in the scene for a handful of scenes, but when she bites the dust, sorry, spoilers,
we're doing you a favor, all right?
we are. You don't care too much.
Yeah.
I mean, the only time I really kind of give a shit is at the very end where, you know, you see Michael Caine actually assaulting his wife.
Leave her alone. Stop it, you're hurting Mommy.
Well, no, I'm not hurting her. I'm helping her.
I don't know that I gave a shit at that point either.
Right.
I like legitimately. So let's talk through this. So Michael Caine, is he a likable guy?
No.
Not even a little bit. And he comes off, he's kind of controlling and he's very domineering. He's very much like this relationship is all about him and his career and his ego, and he's going to provide for everybody else, but it comes at a cost. It comes with a price tag.
We obviously do not understand each other. There is no way I'm going to let you traipse off to New York with Lizzie, leaving me here alone to pay the bills.
Then you have Michael Caine's wife, and she's not a whole lot of fun to be around either. She's taking up yoga on the side. It's not really about the yoga. It's about the dude teaching the yoga class, and she's kind of liey and schemy, and she's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get a apartment in New York, and it's such a sweet deal. It's only $350. Oh well, it's only one bedroom and a kitchenette and a living room. Well, where am I gonna draw my comic books at? Well, I was thinking you could stay here.
I thought you wanted to stay up here and work in the studio and come into the city a couple of days a week.
Stay here alone?
But you said you did.
Oh, well, that's kind of nice of you to bring that shit up while we're driving to, drop off artwork that I'm supposed to be mailing off. The agent you know, how about you ease him into the idea? How about you like let him write a few strips, and then maybe once he's comfortable with this other creative guy doing the drawing that he loved doing for all these years of the character that he created, how about you ease him into surrendering it, not give him the ultimatum of, hey, well, you know what, we can pay you for your time and you'll get a royalty so you'll be taken care of, but just give us your life's work and fuck you. And then the artist, the other artist, oh, well, you're just, you know, I realize that it's your comic and everything and that you've made it successful, but I know what's wrong with it and I'll fix it for you. Hey, fuck you, buddy, okay?
Mandro doesn't think. You drew all those little fucking bubbles with him thinking.
Maybe Mandro should change a little bit.
All right, I'm sorry. This movie made me fucking angry. It's like I'm watching this and I'm like going, if I was Michael Caine, I'd kill these motherfuckers too. So, and then you have this like, they play it like Michael Caine has seen his hand that is, you know, lost in the field somewhere doing all of this heinous shit. And like, I don't know, Oliver Stone couldn't like pick a lane and stick to it. He couldn't decide like what visual style he wanted when he's indicating that this is Michael Caine being crazy.
Yeah, I noticed that too. Yeah, it's very inconsistent. Like sometimes he showed the hand kind of creeping, crawling around, and then sometimes it did.
Sometimes it's black and white, and sometimes it's like this weird warpy footage thing going on.
Yeah, it was like if it was the point of view of the hand, it was black and white. Yeah.
Point of view of the hand, because hands don't have eyes. But I'm just.
But you know what I mean. But so it's like, it was dumb. Is the hand portions of this thing were so silly and ridiculous. It totally undercuts the overly serious tone of this movie.
Yes, and therein lies the biggest fundamental flaw with this film, is that at the end of the day, even though Michael Caine's character is sympathetic in that he's kind of lost everything, if the script had been written, if he had been written as a more likable character, you would feel worse for him. It would have made this film better.
Yeah.
But I think they didn't want him to be that terribly likable. They wanted to be a flawed hero, if you will. And so because they brought all that baggage in with it, it just bogs down the film. And then to boot, like Stella, you brought Stella up. Stella's perfect. She's a student. She doesn't really have any artistic talent, but she really likes Michael Caine, and she shows up, and she you know, they are having a physical relationship, and she knows that he's married, but his wife is like back in New York or whatever. And so she knows like there's boundaries, that this is kind of a new thing. She knows that Michael Caine's wife ain't coming back, blah, 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 blah. But then there's the other teacher that is trying to get into her pants the whole time. And rather than just saying, hey, I'm seeing other people, or hey, Michael Caine puts together that, you know, Stella's going to LA to spend a week at the beach.
I was thinking of going to LA.
You have friends there?
Yeah, I have friends.
And then, his teacher buddy, who's been his only friend this whole time in this whole shitty town where this shitty community college is, he's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go and spend a week on the beach, and I'm gonna have, you know, sunset sand and the company of that stuck-up bitch Stella who thought she was too good for me.
Place at the beach, plenty of beer and food, and I get to screw her night and day, anytime I want.
It's like, you know, you could have just kind of given Michael Caine a heads up on that one. Stella, it would have done everybody a bit of good here. Stella dies. Well, Stella's killed. And then, you know, his buddy is killed and thrown into the trunk of a Ford.
Jesus. Oh, dear.
and then the wife comes to stay with him for Christmas.
Yep.
And she makes it very clear they're not getting back together. He makes it very clear that he would like to be a family again. She makes it very clear that that's not going to happen. But then she decides she's going to stay in the cabin where he's living with him anyway, because like that's gonna end well. She should have just said, look, here's your Christmas present, here's our daughter, I'll come pick her up tomorrow, bye, I'll be at the hotel in town.
Yeah.
But yeah, this, like,
But then the plot wouldn't have happened.
Well, the ending wouldn't have happened, but then they revealed that, like, you know, it's actually Michael Caine, and he's picturing the hand doing all this stuff on its own when it's actually him doing it because it's his rage, and he loses his mind and then starts choking people out. And then they undercut all of that with the last scene of the film where he's being studied by the psychologist who's doing the brain EKG, whatever, readings on him, and then the hand comes out of nowhere and shows him.
Yeah.
There's no
But I think, and I could be wrong, so if I'm wrong, just cut this part out. I think it goes black and white again when they show the hand. So I'm not saying that the hand is still there. I think he's still just freaking crazy, and he's picturing the hand choking the psychiatrist out while he's actually doing it.
I'm going to say it's more sinister than that. This movie, they're like, we think we have something here. Michael Caine gives a really good performance, and I don't know, blah, blah, blah. Maybe we should change the ending. This has test audience fiddling all over it to me, because I'm sure that it was probably supposed to end when he realized that no, he actually killed his friend and Stella, and he was going to kill his wife and all that. I'm sure that was the legitimate, real ending of this film. And then test audiences hated that, and they wanted to know what happened with the hand because they're stupid. And so someone had to go and write this stupid ass ending and then make it to where no, the hand is really going around killing people, and Michael Caine gets to sit there and chuckle while it strangles the doctor to death. It was just,
it was dumb. It was so bad. Yeah, it was obviously tacked on. There's no way that was originally in the script, and if it was, shame on you, Oliver Stone. Oliver Stone has a big stick up his ass. I will say this: that guy, all he does is serious movies. He takes this stuff way too seriously.
Yeah. And he thinks that he is like doing these big grandiose character study reveals. He thinks he's a way better director than he is. A good director would have known, hey, you know what? Let's focus on Michael Caine's pain. This man has suffered. Let's focus on that instead of turning it into, it's almost melodrama-ish.
Yes.
How some of it is handled.
It is, very much so, yeah.
And then to boot, some of it is so poorly written. The actors are doing, Michael Caine does everything he can with this script, but this script is such a turd. And like legitimately, Michael Caine's performance is the best part of this movie, but it's let down by everything else surrounding it. Now, the other thing that's a little laughable is that Stan Winston and Carlo Rambaldi did the hand creature effects in this one, and they're terrible. It looks like somebody's dishwashing glove got loose on the set and started killing people.
Yeah, because it doesn't even look like Michael Caine's hand at all. It looks like some weird, deformed, grotesque thing. I mean, I guess that's kind of the point, but I don't know. It was dumb. This like I said earlier, this movie is a total schlock. I agree with you 100%. The pacing is so slow. The characters are so unlikable. And while he does a pretty good job like building up tension here and there, but when you see the hand, it just like it undercuts it. It just
It fails. It fails on that big reveal. I have notes. Of course I have notes. So, Christina from Mommy Dearest, I have Anna's a bitch written down here.
I created him.
That doesn't mean you can't give him up.
Give him up? Why should I?
Because you'll get a good income out of it, and we won't have to worry about Lizzie or the rent or what we're going to do after Christmas.
Okay, so this is actually based on a short story called The Lizard's Tale by Mark Brandel. It had a budget of $6.5 million Canadian dollars. Canadian dollars.
I don't know what that means now, or Canadian.
I was gonna say
Canadian dollars were more or less.
1980 money. It would have been probably about 80% translated to U.S. dollars.
Okay.
But it did a box office of $2.4 million, and this is Stone's second feature film. I think we talked about this a little bit, but his first one was 1974's Seizure.
Never seen it.
Then it
or
was
heard of it.
7 years later that he got to make this, and this is his first film for a major studio.
Was Seizure a horror as well?
I don't know. I'm sure it probably was a low-budget horror flick.
Okay,
It sounds like it.
We'll have to look that up.
You know, but yeah, and I just fuck this movie, stupid fucking ending. But what should have been an exploration of toxic relationships, and what should have been an exploration of, you know what, know when to say when, and all that. Because, like, Anna, the wife, is portrayed very convincingly. She is, this tragedy has befallen her husband, who she cannot get away from fast enough, who she has every desire to want to get away from him. And that's all fine and good, but then she's got to tough it out and get through the fact that he lost his hand and he's lost his career and he's lost all this, and she's sticking out because she doesn't want to be seen as that girl, but she is that girl.
Yeah.
And the fact that she's like, oh, well, you know, Bill's a really nice guy, and I don't know, I don't think that we should have, you know, our daughter around both of you, because I think that might be confusing, but I think that he'd be a really great substitute father. It's like, yeah, you had it coming. You should have been the bitch in the trunk of the car. Stella should have lived. I blame you. But is there a compelling idea here? Absolutely.
Yes.
Is there a compelling story that you could make from this? Yes, absolutely. Is this it? Not even fucking close. So, this is community college level writing.
Oh, well played, sir. Well played.
Don't watch this movie. Don't even humor it. Don't even be all like, hey, you know what? They said this is really bad. It's probably funny. It's not. It's not.
No, and that's a sad thing too. Like there's no hate watching it or watch it because it's so bad it's funny. No, it's just dumb.
It's
just dumb.
It's not dumb. It's overly dark. It's overly.
It's too serious. It's too serious for its own good.
And then on top of it, like you don't even get to revel in like really cool or creative kills in this one. It's always
choked. Yeah.
And then they find the body.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. That's it. Watch Idle Hands. Fuck this movie.
I was about to say that. Yeah, creative kills from a hand. Idle Hands is the way to go all day long. Yeah.
I've gotten my anger out. I think I'm good. Do you got anything else?
Other than it's not a recommend for me either. It's a pretty much an avoid. So yeah.
Yeah, avoid like the plague. All right. Not everything that came out in '81 was gold, and this is proof of that. Yeah, watch The Thing.
That's what I got.
We will catch you next time.
Psychological horror, something or another. Michael Caine will do anything for money. The Hand.
You're not wrong. I'm Tony. He's Mike.
You think I've done something wrong, don't you?